Hi, I'm Samantha Cartwright, VP of Alliances for vFunction, and today I want to talk to you about how you can accelerate modernization projects for your most complex legacy Java apps and overcome big challenges and hurdles related to modernization. And at the end, walk you through how a Fortune 100 financial company went from a stalled modernization initiative and negative ROI to modernizing multiple Java apps within weeks. So let's go ahead and dive in. So first, let's talk about some of the big industry challenges related to modernization. You're probably experiencing these now, and we've definitely seen the ones we're about to go over with CIOs and leaders of IT. So the first big one is innovation velocity. You have monolithic apps that are legacy, they're getting bigger, technical debt is growing. What's pictured here is really the path it takes for a monolithic app to reach innovation. It's not an easy one, clearly. So you experience things like long test cycles, long release cycles. You can't meet business requirements. Your customer experience is failing, which really leads to a competitive disadvantage overall. So oftentimes we see for every dollar spent, only a small fraction is going to innovation and the rest is spent on technical debt. The other big challenge is as a result of that slow engineering velocity and innovation velocity is limited application scalability. It becomes a huge problem. You have things like excessive TCO, you can't scale out, there's no elasticity. And again, it really impacts the user and customer experience. Microservices, however, is a solution to help make applications way more scalable, cost efficient. You can easily take advantage of, cloud on-demand services like serverless and easily scale out. So another big challenge with modernization is modernizing without the business logic. So monolithic architecture really has three components. You have the UI, the business logic, and the database. Oftentimes we see customers modernize just the UI. So giving it a shiny new car look and feel, but with that old rusty lawnmower engine. It's not going to go fast, driving experience is poor. I think you probably get the analogy. But not modernizing that business logic is going to cause more long-term harm and issues than it's worth. So I'll give you an example. We had a customer who launched a mobile app to enable better user experience for its customers. So they added an API layer connecting to the legacy backend system. Red flag right there. Customer adoption and use exceeded projections by 10x. And the backend of the application could not handle the exponential growth in API calls and database transactions. So this led to the opposite of the desired effect, where customer experienced downtime. So again, just to stress, if you don't modernize that business logic, you are 100% going to stall your modernization efforts out. So let's talk a little bit about the different types of modernization. So you have what we call tactical versus strategic modernization. So let's take a look at both. So tactical modernization, this may include upgrading frameworks, Java versions, patch security, and putting a monolith into a container. This is basically a rehost. So you see some benefits like improved security, simplifying DevOps, but you're not addressing the app in such a way that you would actually see true benefits of cloud native services. So the last one, strategic modernization, this is where you're going to see the most value from the cloud, but also it's the hardest to do. So without automation, you're dealing with millions of lines of code and complexity. But this is, again, where you're going to see the most cloud benefits by breaking the monolith into microservices, which then removes technical debt, improves the architecture, and you can start seeing benefits a lot faster. So let's talk about some of the use cases with strategic modernization. So customers with a broad application estate. So you have a lot of apps, maybe you don't know where to begin your journey. The platform, the vFunction platform will actually help you make decisions on what applications to start with based on ease and impact for your business. The other one being customers that have megalithic applications, super big apps. So they began the journey, it's slow moving. There's millions of lines of code. They don't have the right skills or expertise or even tools to refactor the app. The third one being customers that began their cloud native journey, maybe did a lift and shift to start, and now are ready to dive straight into modernizing, addressing technical debt head on, and really reaping the true benefits of cloud. So let's talk a little bit about a case study. So at the beginning, I mentioned this Fortune 100 financial services company. So they spent years and about $10 million modernizing their CI/CD, DevOps, and infrastructure. They were stuck. So we actually see this a lot. Modernization projects, they oftentimes get kicked off and then they stall because of tools not fit for purpose, you have skills gap, and ultimately the applications are incredibly legacy and complex. So let's talk a little bit about this specific customer's challenges. So there was an internal mandate for cloud readiness. So they began investing tens of millions of dollars in developing a secure cloud platform onto which would be migrated their hundreds of traditional applications. So after several years of hard work, research, and analysis, only a small percentage of their legacy applications were now running on their cloud infrastructure. This was due to the size and complexity of their legacy Java apps. So the second one, they have a massive legacy footprint. So the company processes around $1 billion a day, mainly through these legacy systems built with Java and Oracle's WebLogic web server. Their largest and most complex application is a 20-year-old monolith with over 10,000 classes and 8 million lines of code. So after spending nearly 2 years internally trying to wrap their arms around this enormous and business critical app, the team was frustrated with the lack of progress. So the third one are apps de-scope from lack of automation. So several years of intensive project strategy with both internal and external teams, they achieved limited results, and refactoring still wasn't even in scope. So without a solution to automatically and intelligently extrapolate and organize the app into something understandable and actionable, this company was in a pretty tough position. So just to kind of sum up all of the challenges and the pain, there's really no evident engineering velocity improvement, even after they spent this $10 million to try and modernize. IT leadership had little to show for the modernization investment, with only 3 applications built from scratch running in their new modern environment. So let's talk a little bit about the solution. So the solution for this specific customer was automating modernization. So first off, getting a complete complexity analysis. So vFunction provided a multi-phase approach to automate the analysis of the company's legacy Java apps. So assessing the complexity of selected apps to determine readiness for modernization. We automatically started creating a blueprint of these apps. The second one, using AI and machine learning and data science. So using patented methods of static analysis and dynamic analysis and dead code detection, again, plus the data science and the AI, we help them prioritize which applications to modernize first. And then the last one, they needed actionable recommendations with automated execution. This was key. So the platform allowed this company to design services using the interactive UI design studio, providing the ability to refine service boundaries, automatically refactor classes, assign code to common libraries, conduct impact analysis of design decisions based on the architect's input. It was really a full-scale model so that they could design out the microservices architecture that was best fit for their environment. So let's talk a little bit about the results. So vFunction provided a cost-effective, practical, and accelerated way to modernize their current legacy apps, to enable them to run on the new environment that they spent a lot of money on, allowing them to capitalize on their historic investment, resulting in a win for their business. Not only for their business, but for obviously the app teams and the executive leadership. So ROI, so the combination of vFunction and the company's cloud ecosystem built on AWS has enabled them to move forward with their strategy of refactoring and migrating hundreds of legacy Java applications to AWS, faster and less expensive than ever imagined. And the IT execs can now actually show a return on investment that they didn't have before. Second one, they had a 25x increase in time to market reduction. And then the last one being 3x reduction in cost of modernization. So the company's massive cut in time to market directly reduced the cost of modernization, again, by more than 3x compared to manually decomposing the application without vFunction. So with that being said, I would like to just give you a quick preview of the platform and then show you a little bit how it works and then some call to actions at the end. So the vFunction platform takes you on the complete journey from assessment and learning of the monolithic app to fully functioning microservices. So the first step on the platform is what we call the assessment hub. This is a lightweight deployment. You're up and running in 10 to 20 minutes, and it's static code analysis only. So you begin assessments on applications, and you get an automated report on your technical debt breakdown, modernization recommendations based on worst technical debt offenders. Again, this is really the starting point of building the business case that allows you to build the business case for the right applications. The second step is the learn phase. This is really the goal here during the learn phase, is to identify the flows within the application that would correlate with specific domains. And we're thinking about decomposing an app, we're looking to decompose it in such a way that makes sense from a business value perspective. Does it make sense to maintain these as separate services? So the middle part, this is the analysis and automation phase, is where you start assessing the complexity of the applications to determine readiness for modernization and possible changes you want to make. The modernization hub is where you have the interactive microservices design studio, where you can perform tasks like merging services, splitting services directly on the UI. Again, you can design, blueprint, and calculate the ROI for refactoring, re-architecting, or even rewriting the application. And once you're actually comfortable with the design, this is when you would move into that service extraction phase, where literally you just click a button and it creates a service specification file for each of the microservices. This provides all the information needed for the vFunction platform to create these services for you. So by the end of these 4 phases, you have new projects and new microservices with RESTful APIs that are ready for deployment on cloud environments. So just to summarize, why AI for app modernization? So the vFunction platform was developed for developers and architects to be able to successfully accomplish strategic modernizations at scale. We take monolithic Java apps, we assess them, analyze them, design them, and break them into microservices or mini services. Ultimately, this builds a repeatable factory model. So you can onboard apps, analyze them, continuously modernize. So to summarize really with 3 numbers, we speed up modernization efforts by 20x. This allows you to do more modernizations. We reduce the cost of your modernization projects by 3x. And then ultimately, we help you de-risk the whole project. So come talk to us. These are common issues we help our customers solve, right? So if you're assessing your application estate, if you're needing to accelerate your modernization programs, if you have an urgent application that needs to be modernized due to business issues, or you already moved to cloud, but it's not meeting your needs. So the costs are big, you're not scaling, lift and shift, move the problem. If any of these hit home for you, we would love to talk to you. At the bottom, you can see here, if you go to vfunction.com, you can request a demo and we'd happy to do a deep dive with you. Again, thank you for your time today. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you.